Who you having? Qatar or Jim Ratcliffe? Or sorry, Shekih Jassim or INEOS?
Do you know what? Like, it's been left as this sort of very, very binary, almost American politics choice.
Yeah.
Republican or Democrat.
Yep.
That's it. That's all the choice is. Pick one and shut up.
Yep.
But isn't there like half a dozen people? It's just these are the ones that are gobbing off about it.
Yeah. There's the Elliott Group. Elliott Management Group, is that what they're called? Who could be offering a Glazers a way to stay by buying a minority share or stake.
Well, straight off the bat, they can fuck off.
Yeah, that's horrible. We don't want anything to do with them. There's also about 3 or 4 others that we don't know who they are. I mean, I think your mate's dropped out. What was his name? Thomas Siliakis. I say your mate, not that you've got any affiliation with him whatsoever. But I think his bid was about as realistic as a certain former person, or not a former person, a certain person who tried to buy United in about 1989.
Oh, the fella that sees aliens and that?
Yeah, him.
So, yeah, Thomas Ziliakis, like, literally saw, was it a tweet that he did? It was like, I'm going to buy United, and I'll buy it with £1 off every fan. And I'm like, the maths ain't mathing on that one, man.
No,
mate.
they're not. How you, for starters, how are you gathering that money? Do you know what we're doing? A big, like, sort of account that we all join? That's just stupid.
The problem with that is...
Well, there's several problems with it.
Yeah, but the major problem with that, with the fact that 12.5% of Earth is a United fan, as a thought, for starters, is batshit crazy, right? Also, United haven't helped themselves because they've peddled that number out themselves as well. Now, those are people who've got a brain, who like to read up on journals and studies and stuff like that, and you look at the methodology of how results have been come to when anyone does any sort of scientific research. That is the important thing. Now, the detail on the 1.1 billion Manchester United fans, the study was how many people recognise this logo, and it was done on, I think, 10,000 people and extrapolated to the Earth, right? So
okay, I can see the flaws already. They did not poll
everyone on Earth and go, right, 1.1 billion. So it was 10 or 25,000, something along those lines, which is still a very large study. And they extrapolated that to mean all of the Earth. And then they said they are Manchester United fans.
Right. Just by recognising the logo.
But I would argue a Liverpool fan would recognise the United logo.
Yeah.
I would argue a City fan both of them would recognise a United logo. Or Barcelona, Real Madrid. I would argue anyone who's ever had any interest in football whatsoever recognises the Manchester United logo.
I mean, by this logic, me and you could be City fans or Scousers or Leeds fans. I know. But if you go in, what's that? Oh, it's a Leeds United badge. Right, you're a Leeds fan. Excuse me. Some words need to be had. Like, that's a nonsense. So I've never got that. And
maybe I've got somewhere in the region of 100, 200 million fans.
And I've no doubt that we are one of, if not the most supported club in the world. I get that because of our history, because of everything that's gone on with us, because of the glamour element that's always been associated with Manchester United going back to the 50s, 60s.
And carried on through Harry Maguire.
And Are you insinuating he's not glamorous? What's the matter with you? So I understand that. But yeah, in terms of actual fans, that's not the case. And it was just a nonsense to try and suggest you could get all these fans together and put money in. Do you remember the crowdfunding for the Bring Ronaldo Home thing? Early days of Full-Time Devils when they got in touch with us.
Them fucking melons.
Yeah. They were like, oh, we're going to buy Ronaldo if everyone puts in £1 and we've got 90 million fans.
And what happens to that money that gets pledged if it doesn't get bought?
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, don't worry about that. What? The what? The money? Can't hear you.
I'll just look after it.
Yeah.
Stop it, you melons.
That's what I mean. That was like where we were going with the Thomas Ziliakis.
Here's something that makes more sense, more realism, right? So on average, United sell somewhere between 2 and 3 million shirts per year.
Okay.
Now, you've got to extrapolate that into there's going to be a rate load of snides in the third world countries. It is what it is, right?
Not just the third world countries, if we're being brutally honest.
Okay.
Unless you count in Salford.
Third world countries and Moston, there are going to be a right load of snides. But if you look into that, there's approximately 3 million people that are prepared to spend whatever it's going to cost from 40 to like 90 quid, which is the sort of broad range of prices of kits. Now, that's not £1, but it's also not 6 billion quid either.
No.
So, chin him right off the bat.
Not happening.
So there probably are others, and hopefully, like, imagine it is a third horse that wins this race. And everyone goes, hang on, who's he? Or she?
Yeah.
She used to be married to Jeff Bezos. No, she is.
Oh, mate, don't. Do you know what I mean? That would be epic. Yeah, because the issue I have is we get these stories coming out, and you'll say, okay, Mike Keegan from the Daily Mail says that this is going to happen with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Now, I remember Mike from my days when I was reporting, he was at the Evening News, and I know that he's got stories wrong in the past where he's been told something and it hasn't been true. So I'm not going to hang my hat on everything he says and go, he's 100%. There's also the argument that a lot of this is meant to be NDAs and everything, where you're not disclosing everything. The people that are in charge of it, Rain, I think it is, aren't allowed to go, I'll tell you what, guess what he just bid? Because that's basically illegal. So, yes, certain groups might be briefing the press or whatever, but
they absolutely are.
Why are they briefing it? Are they telling you the truth, or are they trying to get some positive press for their attempted bid and some negative press for the bid that they're up against? I mean, the logic would say
there is a PR
that's why
game.
they're doing it.
There is a PR game. I mean, did you watch Kasper Schmeichel's interview on Monday Night Football?
And I fully believe he was being authentic when he said that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is, what did he say? He's one of the reasons he signed for Nice, was it? Or something along those lines?
That was exactly what he said. Oh, yeah. No, he said INEOS.
Oh, right.
Right, so...
Wait, that is so in the party line, that. I give him credit for that.
If he'd have said... Like, what is the standard answer when any footballer gets asked about the owners? Oh, I've met him. He's been at the matches. Seems like a nice guy. That's the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No one ever... I mean, he's cooking it and he's overcooking it. He was like, well, I'll tell you something, Jay. INEOS is actually why I signed for Nice. I'm sorry, what?
Nice came to me and they said, we want to sign you. And my first question was, are INEOS involved? And they said, yes. And I said, count me in.
Mate, Nick Cage thinks that was overacting. So... And I said, loads of people like, oh, what do you expect him to say? He's an employee. I expect him to say what I said at the first point. If it was just a normal interview, like it's a coincidence, Leicester are playing, Kasper Schmeichel, ex-player, he was available. I think the fact that he was available while their season's still going on tells you everything that you need to know.
Yeah.
Like he's been told to fucking go and get in the mix.
Don't worry about what's going on in League One. Go on.
I think a normal interview would be, like I just said, oh yeah, I met the owner, he's a nice guy, Joe. Very, very football player answer.
Beige, bland, meaningless.
No headlines.
Yeah.
But when you say what he said, that, like, I can't believe how many people's spider sense. I bet you believe your missus is working late every night, don't you? I bet you've got some right lines to be.
Hang on a minute.
Late again? Oh, you're already eaten. No problem.
Were you wearing that when you went out?
You smell nice.
Yeah.
Don't smell like you've been at work for a day. Interesting.
Yeah, so we're getting it from both sides, and it's working because everyone's turning against Ratcliffe and INEOS. And when I say everyone, I mean the vast majority. You can't speak for everyone, but you've seen it online. You've seen it in the protests. Those protests were about Full Sail, but there were people at those protests who had. I've seen a couple of signs about Sir Jim Ratcliffe that weren't too complimentary. We've seen people online. Dave posted, like, stay away from my club, whatever it was. So it's working. Like this briefing, or whatever you want to call it, that the Glazers could stay under Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Is that true? I don't know. If it is, I don't want him. But I don't know if it is true. I'll be honest with you. That's my problem with it.
I do get the impression that...
It is.
And again, it's the impression... I'm not part of the Rain Group.
No.
I have no idea whose bid's winning, what people have bid, anything like that.
When was
I can
the last
only
time
go
you spoke
off...
to Shekih Jassim? Or Sir Jim Ratcliffe for that matter?
I've
been a while.
Both of them never.
Right, okay. Yeah, that's similar. Actually, yeah, that's the same for me.
So, like, I have zero in on any of these. It's funny because I tweeted a journalist, apparent journalist, the other day who was asking about how bad this is for football if United end up getting state-owned. And I said, did you have the same concerns for Abu Dhabi and for Saudi Arabia? And all the replies like, you enjoyed the World Cup, bought and paid for. Like, I think they'd be asking for the money back if that was the case. The amount of times I've said, I do not want state ownership is numerous.
Yeah.
I really do not want state ownership, but I also don't want debt.
This is the problem, right? I have, and I'm with you. We're caught in sort of between a rock and a hard place, whatever, because I've always said I don't want state ownership. There's nothing against Qatar. I couldn't care if it was Britain, USA, Iran, Israel, anywhere. I don't want state ownership. Yeah, that's not specific to a
and
country.
all the people who reply, well, Britain can talk. Yeah, I don't want Britain to own us either.
I know, exactly. Do you really think I want the British government owning Manchester United?
I don't even want the British government to be the fucking British government.
I don't even like the I don't even like the opposition. That's how bad it is. I don't like any of them. So
that's literally it.
Yeah,
it's like, who owns United is Conservatives versus Labour. You got the right wingers or the Conservatives.
It's true. It's a horrible situation. So there's that element to it where you don't want to stay. Now you might go, well, Shekih Jassim, he's a private investor. He's a private individual. Now I've always said if there is a private individual from Qatar or Saudi Arabia or anyone, I've got no issue with that. If it's just a person who comes from that region, why would I have an issue with that? But you have to be honest about it. Do we honestly believe this guy has no
supposedly
connections?
worth £1 billion, bidding 5.5.
Yeah, and he's promising things that would cost about 10 billion quid.
Yeah.
And his dad was the prime minister, and he was in charge of the Bank of Qatar when he was about 30 odd. I don't think it was just because he's good at maths. So
right, 1, 2, he gets it.
He knows how to use a calculator. He's got a GCSE. You have to don't be naive about it. And go, look, this smells like and looks like a Qatar.
If Shekih Jassim takes over, you better believe I'll be all over Twitter saying it's not state-owned.
Yeah.
However,
I think I might join you.
My smell is it doesn't smell like an independent citizen that's just decided to get in the mix.
It feels like state-owned. And it does annoy me, the hypocrisy you spoke about. And am I allowed to name journalists on this?
Oh, absolutely.
Right, thank you.
If not encouraged.
Jonathan Liu from The Guardian, who
wrote
a sycophantic article about Erling Haaland and the Abu Dhabi project, the City project, and they were, the way they've done it and relentless and all this sort of stuff.
Wonder where he's going on holiday this summer.
Exactly. And yet, it was the end game if it was United. Now, I'll be honest, I've criticised City for their sports washing and it's not what I want. And I'll criticise United, but I won't pick one or the other. I won't go, well, this is okay and this is bad.
That's all I've ever wanted.
Yeah, he's done that.
Is it bad? Well, it was bad when City did it.
Yeah.
And it'll still be bad when United do it. And that's my stance, I don't want the sports washing. I don't want to ever be used as a state. And like anything that Abu Dhabi do, people go, City, right? Yeah. And I don't want that for United. No. Like, Qatar put on a fantastic World Cup. Does that mean I agree with their policies as a country on everything? No.
We're going.
And nor does it mean...
We're going to the US in a few months for the tour. Do we believe in everything the US government does? No. Do you know what I mean?
Speak for yourself, Jay. Barbecue, guns.
Yeah, I picked the wrong guy to say that to.
but you're right. No, I think America's absolutely batshit crazy. I think some of the things that they're doing for women's rights is more egregious than some of the stuff that's going on in the Middle East.
Right,
way more egregious.
And it's the sad thing is now, I always said, let's do one thing as United fans, and I can't speak for myself. Let's focus on getting the Glazers out. And then let's have the row about the new owners. But we've done it the other way around. We've started rowing about the new owners before the Glazers have gone.
My stance has always been fucking anyone but the Glazers.
Yep.
However, it's a small chance and it might only be 1%. There is a chance we go from the frying pan to the fire.
Yeah, there is. There is. Now,
looking at what Todd Boehly's been like.
Yeah, and there was a story that was leaked or came out from Christian Faltis today that Shekih Jassim wants to buy Mbappe and Eduardo Camavinga and Kingsley Coman. Now, straight away, everyone's like, amazing, brilliant. Now, look, I'd love to see any or all of those players at Manchester United Football Club. I do find it very concerning when a guy who's not even bought the club yet is already telling the manager which players he's going to be buying. I don't want that.
You could bring Eric in and be like, listen, you did well last season. However, I've been thinking.
I've been playing FIFA. And I think my record speaks for itself.
This Mbappe fella's quite good.
Yeah. And he's only on 940k a week. So I've got him for you. The only thing is he's the captain. He's taking all the penalties. And the Bobby Charlton stand is now the Kylian Mbappe stand. You don't mind that, do you? And if you do, you're sacked. That worries me. Because you're right. Todd Boehly has been a disaster.
Not for us, he hasn't.
Not for us. He's been hilarious. I love it. But we don't want that. So there's that element. The flying ointment was Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who a year ago everyone wanted, by the way. Everyone was like twerking for Sir Jim Ratcliffe, pretty much. And again, I use the term everyone loosely, but the vast majority of people I was interacting with online was like, Jim Ratcliffe's got a come, he's got a bios. We did a live show when he was doing that Q&A for INEOS. The comments were like, oh, we need Sir Jim, we need Sir Jim, we need Sir Jim. Now everyone's turning against him because it looks like this could keep the Glazers
There's a couple of things, isn't there? So with Sir Jim, you go, he's from Failsworth. Probably a plus, right? He's a billionaire. It's probably a plus.
Yep.
He just was twerking for Chelsea 7 months ago. It's not a plus. He's already got a football club. How are they doing? Not so good. It's not a plus. He's probably going to have to borrow. Well, that's not a plus.
That's not great.
He's going to have to keep the Glazers.
Baffles me, though.
That's not a fucking plus.
The Glazers thing, I will never back anyone with that. If he wants to keep the Glazers, he's lost my vote. However, I still take that with a pinch of salt. Because, again, I don't think it's set in stone. I don't think it's like you go, that is the facts. We don't know it.
We don't know the facts.
Yeah, we don't. So
there's
a bit of
people
that
leaking stuff, and then you have to go, okay, there's probably elements of truth to things that are being leaked.
Yeah.
Invariably it is, especially on deals this big. People talk, right? There's probably a lot of elements of truth, but there's also very, very, very real opportunities that this might be the Wembley lasagna at points as well.
Yeah. Like, he might. And the thing is, as well, these are all under NDAs. They've all got so much they can't say as well. So there's only so much they can come out and go, that's not true, that's true, that isn't true. And I don't know, maybe there was talk that he's offered...
No, not lasagna, hot pot.
Yeah, there was talk that he'd offered some sort of deal where one deal is he buys 69%, another deal is he buys 50% and keeps Joel and Avram on. If that's what he's got to do to get the deal over the line, I don't really want that. I'd want to see him 69%, great. He was making some noises about it being a community club and he wants to see the team successful. He's going to invest in that. If that's the case, great. On the other hand, you've got Shekih Jassim, who's talking about rebuilding the stadium and all the rest of it. That sounds great as well. So there's positive points for both.
And then you've got the potential Bond villain one who we don't know about.
Yeah, exactly. The worst option for me would be someone like the Elliott Group come in and go, right, we've bought Darcy and Bob and Trevor or whatever the rest of them are called out. Avram and Joel are going to stay in charge. But we've given
them a load more debt. Not more money, more debt.
Just more debt. And we're not having a new stadium.
What are they going to spend that money on? The debt.
The debt, yeah. And it's just like, and you're not getting a new stadium, you're just getting a lick of paint on the old one. All right, great. And oh, by the way, you're not getting any transfers either. Wow, amazing. I mean, there's no happy option here.
They'll never fuck off then, will they?
No, they'll just be here forever. For me, the ideal scenario would be what it looked like about, and it's not ideal actually, ideal's the wrong word. There was a time when the Sir Jim Ratcliffe idea looked good. It looked like someone who cared about the club coming in, investing in the team, investing in this infrastructure, and buying out the Glazers. If that was still on the table, I'd be about that. I don't know if it is. That's my only thing.
Yeah.
And I can't sit here and go, I'm pro Jim, because his bid might be the one that keeps Glazers in, and I'm not for that. And especially like you pointed out, the debt might be getting moved around rather than getting eradicated. And it's flawed.
If you had a mate, and your mate had a dog, and let's say his dog was called Niece, right? Yeah. And he didn't look after that dog.
Yeah.
He didn't walk it.
Yeah.
And it had a borrowed collar.
Yeah.
And he didn't really like the owner.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to buy him a new dog?
Probably not. I won't let him look after my dog that I loved.
Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.